Welcome back, viewers. This is SweetBattlescars again, and I am back with another unboxing video. Today we're gonna look at the Figma Mikasa Ackerman figure by Max Factory. This is the first in the series of Attack on Titan Figma figures. And I gotta say, first off, the presentation looks very good. I like this box a lot. It is one of the bigger boxes that they usually use for figures with lots of accessories and whatnot. And as you guys can see here, this Figma figure of Mikasa looks like it brings a lot of stuff. So we're gonna look at the box first off. Again, very nice presentation with a little window there to look at the figure and its accessories. The number here, 203. The name of the figure, Mikasa Ackerman, Attack on Titan, and its maker, and the category, Figma. And we've got the side of the box here with a close-up of the figure's upper torso and face, looking rather nice. This is one of, if I do say so myself, one of the nicest Figma figures in my experience. I do have the Link and the Samus figures. I haven't collected many more Figma figures, but from what I've seen from Figma, this is shaping up to be a very nice series of figures. Like I said, Levi and Eren Yeager are coming up later this year. Actually, sorry, I don't think I've mentioned that. This is the first in the series, and we've got those two other coming up that have been announced already, Levi and Eren. And I'm sure they'll announce more later on, but this year we're gonna get those. So alright, enough of that. We're gonna look at some of the images here in the back of the box. It shows the figure posing with the salute there, charging with the maneuvering gear and whatnot, with her little green cape there that they use out in the field. Looks pretty nice. The survey core, and another close-up of the figure. The top of the box shows the figure again. It's it's just always about the figure, and that's it. Pretty much it for this box. So we're gonna go ahead and open it. And this is actually the second line of production, if I can call it that. I missed the first line of production, the first production release, or whatever you call it. I'll just call them the first and second releases. The first release was in January of this year, 2014, and the second release just happened last month, April of 2014. So I was able to get my hands on it on the second release round, and or the second production. It's exactly the same figure. Everything is pretty much the same. I'm gonna move my camera around a bit here so that I don't hit my microphone. So like I said, second line of production, and price went up a little higher. Not much, it just went a little higher because the demand was so high. I mean, I'm not kidding you. This figure back in January when it first came out, it sold out within the first hour, from my supplier at least, from Hobby Link Japan and Ami. It sold out within the first hour. So I was, it is a very popular figure, as you guys can see, and it sold out fast. And I actually recently saw it at WonderCon, and the price was very hefty. Also, it was a very high price, so I knew I had pre-ordered this second production already, so I didn't want to go ahead and buy that one, as I paid much. I spent a lot less money than what I would have spent in over at the WonderCon. With the WonderCon store, they had a store there with a bunch of Figmas. So I'm glad I didn't get that. I guess I knew I had this coming in the mail. So here is the figure in its packaging. You guys can see its accessories there. She comes with her swords, her blades there, her maneuvering gear with her gas tanks there, and a couple of other different faces. And I don't know if it's just me, but this light is very bright. I'm gonna dull it down a bit. Maybe that's better. Alright, here we go. Gonna take out the figure first. This is what we all came here to see. Gonna set that aside, and here is this awesome Mikasa figure. She's got some plastic. I'm gonna just tear it. I don't think I need to take off her head. Alright, so she's pretty much your average size for a Figma figure. I'm gonna take out my big old ruler here that I always use. I don't have a smaller ruler for measuring stuff, but I'm gonna use this ruler and just give you guys an idea of what how tall it is. It's roughly 5.5 inches, 5 inches and a half. So yeah, just about 5.5 inches. So yeah, pretty average for a Figma. That's about, you know, the size for Figma figures. And of course it's a Figma, so we can expect some pretty good articulation. And let's take a look at the figure first. This is her face, and again, one thing I like about Figmas is the quality of the figure. The quality of the paint job is always really good, and Mikasa is no exception. You guys can see the eyes, the face have been nicely painted with the hair, nicely rendered. We've got her awesome little jacket and her iconic scarf, red scarf that she got from Eden, and little decals on her look pretty nice too. You guys can see the decals on the back of her jacket, the wings there, and the rest of her outfit. The straps are nicely painted, really clean lines. Nothing seems to be missing there. The detail is all there. The little plates in the back, her little mini cover there for the waist. It's just a piece of cloth. The rest of the straps on her hips and thighs all look very nice. And we've got her boots here again, very nicely painted, very nicely sculpted, and the colors seem true to the anime. They look exactly the same, and it's overall a very nice figure. This is primarily PVC and ABS plastic that has been painted, so you can expect very good quality, you know, figures from Figma. Nice PVC plastic there, some of the more flexible ABS. So here we go. We're gonna take a look at articulation. Because of her scarf, her neck does have a little bit of a limitation in terms of movement, but her head can still move comfortably, you know, left and right. And I'm sure you can take it, you know, all the way to the back, but I'm not gonna force it. I don't want to scratch anything. Up and down about that much. And of course that's a, you know, a ball joint, I'm sure, as it's typical of Figma. We've got another ball joint on the shoulder. It goes up about that much when she has her arm straight out like that, and of course down, and then forward about that much, and you know, to the back like that. But you can spin it, you know, all the way around the figure. So her arms have pretty good articulation. I like those ball joints. We've got the elbow joint. It's another, like, it's a hinge joint, but it is, you guys can see, it's also like a hybrid, like a hinge slash ball joint, so it does spin around a bit, so you guys can get some extra movement. And the hinge also moves up about that much, so nice little hybrid joint there. Another ball joint on her wrist, so you guys can see that we've got some pretty good movement on the wrist there. Next up is her waist. We've got a joint there right underneath the breasts, on the diaphragm, what it looks like. So it goes up and down about that much, and side to side like that, and it does move pretty much all the way around, but again, I'm not gonna force it. It feels like it goes all the way around, so nice free movement there on the diaphragm, on the, you know, on the chest area. We've got the waist. I don't think we've got a joint here. Nope, it's just down there. So the whole leg area moves, where the hips are, the waist. It moves up and down about that much, side to side, and it goes around, as you guys can see, like so. And then her legs are on another ball joint, so it goes up about that much, up to the front like that, to the back. It's very limited because of this. You guys can see there's a split there in the ABS plastic, so it goes back about that much before that gets in the way. But again, it's very unnatural for her leg to go really far to the back, so we're not gonna do that. Her knee is on another hinge joint, and it does have some movement because of the ball joint there too, so it kind of moves around freely, as you guys can see, and it goes up about that much. After that, we've got another joint right at the ankle, another ball joint. It goes up and down about that much, and it spins around a little bit before it hits that little plastic area there. So there is some good movement there. And then the toes are on another hinge joint, so they go up and down about that much, which is, you know, what you would want from a figure. So that is it for articulation. Very nice figure, nicely articulated. So we're gonna set it aside and look at some of the accessories that we got. We've got a bag to put all our stuff in there. We've got the Figma base here with the base and the little plastic arm to hold on to the figure. We've got a set of hands here. I'm gonna go ahead and open it and bring down my camera a bit and adjust my lighting just so you guys can see it a little better. Maybe you won't see much of a difference, but trust me, it's a difference. It's different. There we go. So that should be better. We've got the hands here. We've got open palm hands, nicely placed on this little plastic rack. We've got, well, extended hands, I guess I should say, with her fingers kind of spread out and you know, like so. I'm gonna move the lighting again. I apologize, this is getting really bright very fast, so I'm gonna move it up a bit. There we go, that's better. We've got her just relaxed hand, as I call them, just these hands here that are really not doing anything, just kind of a relaxed hand. And then we've got these partially closed hands for holding on to her swords. And then of course on the figure we've got the completely closed fists. As you guys can see on the figure, they're completely closed. So these are the hands we would use for her swords. So those are the hands, and then we do have an extra set of hands here that kind of fell off from the thing as I was taking it out. The spaces that you guys saw down there are for these hands. Another set of partially opened hands. So I guess these might be for her ropes or strings, I don't know. We'll see what these do later. So we're gonna set the hands aside, and what's really nice about this figure is we got some, like I said, lots of accessories here. We got some rope, some actual rope for the maneuvering gear, so we're gonna set that aside. And then some of these little hooks, clear plastic hooks for I guess for us to give us that, so we can get that realistic effect. Hooks with a string. And that's pretty much it. And now we're gonna look at the swords. And here they are, nicely sculpted. Come on, focus. My camera does not want to focus on this one. Come on. Alright, here we go. So there's the handle. Yeah, you guys can see it better now. Camera just focused. And the blade. All very nice. And then it's the same exact sword for the left and right. So same exact thing. It looks pretty good. It's nice and flexible, so nothing goes on breaking. So there are the swords. And let's take a look at the maneuvering gear now. This is one of my favorite parts of this figure. They went above and beyond in terms of the details. You guys can see here the where they carry their replacement blades. This doesn't come out, so this is just a piece of plastic there for the blades. And there are the little compartments to all the blades and the gas tanks. They all look very true to the anime. It looks just like it does in the anime. There is her contraption for the gas to be released, and these are her other little handles. So there we go. We're gonna put that aside, move the base here, and we also got the other things here. We've got a little point here for in terms of the hooks. This is what she would launch from her gear to attach to walls and, you know, penetrate rock and wood so she can grapple onto it. And we've got two of those, one for each tank. There's the other one. We've got some smoke for the effect when she's moving around with her gas. So nicely sculpted and painted. You can barely see it in this lighting with this white background. And we have her little hood, her little cape, which looks pretty fantastic. I really like this, and it's flexible ABS plastic. That's been pigmented, so the paint won't crack or anything. It looks really cool. So we're gonna try all of this on. So this shouldn't be too difficult to put in. We should snap her head off. There you go. We got the neck on the ball joint there. And this shoots just slide in there like so. And we just put her head back. As you guys can see, everything fits nicely. And she looks very, very cool, very badass, as Mikasa is. That looks pretty fabulous. So she looks pretty awesome with this little cape on, and you guys can see she can still kind of move her head around pretty freely, left and right, and even up and down a bit. So you guys can see nothing gets in the way. Everything has been very nicely measured and sculpted. So here we got the hands, and they come off. The ball joint stays in the arm. And they snap pretty easily, so they come off very easily, and they should be able to snap back on like so. Just a little tricky to get it in there, the peg and the little hole for it to go in. And there we go, we got a hand so she can hold her I guess that's not for the swords, that's too small for the swords. We're gonna use the other hand. This looks like it's the hand for the swords. Let's grab a sword. And as you guys can see, this camera might not be able to focus, but the sword has two little holes there. And notice she has these two fingers there, so these should be able to fit nicely in there. And they actually do, like so. You guys can see her two little fingers went in there. This is very nice effect, and so you guys get the full effect of her grabbing onto her swords. Like so, there you go. There is Mikasa holding her sword. Looks very realistic. Let's put the other hand on it. And again, I'm always very careful with these very delicate parts. Like her fingers are very thin. It's PVC plastic, so it's semi-flexible, but they're very delicate nonetheless. And this little handle here is very delicate on the sword, so I don't think they're gonna break from you just handling them and putting them into her hands. But again, you can never be too careful with the figures like this. I always like to be very careful with my figures, especially in terms of paint. Sometimes when articulated figures, things start moving around and you start moving their articulation points around, and sometimes things can get a little scratched. So that's one of my pet peeves. Come on, this little peg is tricky, but there it goes. It went in. And there is Mikasa. I'm gonna pull back a bit. There's Mikasa holding on to her swords. Now I'm gonna put the maneuvering gear, which as you guys can see, she has on her back, she has a little entry point there, and the maneuvering gear has a peg. This peg here should slide into her body like so, and then she has another couple of holes, a little hole there and another hole there for these little pegs. You guys can see these little pegs there. Those should all fit in and align nicely, so we're gonna try it. There is that. The back peg went in, no problem. And now her little triggers here. There we go, we've got the right one snapped in there, her right, our left. And then the other one also nicely in there, so you guys can see her waist part is installed. And now she's got another set of holes here on her legs, on on the outside part of her legs there for these little pegs to go in. You guys can see them there. And they go in again very nicely, like so. And there we go. Nothing too complicated. And there is Mikasa with her maneuvering gear. And of course this makes her kind of heavy, so it's gonna maybe be a little difficult for her to stand. She's gonna kind of want to fall to her back. Gonna move the camera down. And that's where the base comes into play. And the base is very simple, as your standard Figma base. We've got a peg that goes into the base here, obviously, and then another little peg. And I like the Figma bases. They are some of the easiest, most uncomplicated bases, so you can really just enhance your figures poses by, you know. And there's the little peg on the back that you know, that the base grabs onto. And now she can stand. Like so. Not bad at all. She's got her maneuvering gear, her cape, and her swords ready to go. And we've got, of course, these little plastic strings here that should attach to the back of her sword, like so. Here in the back, you guys can see that's got a little hole, and there's a little peg there. And they go in like so nicely, so that, just like in the anime, her maneuvering gear is attached to her sword. And the other one. And everything snaps together very nicely. So you guys got the sword effect there. The sword's connected. Without her base, you guys can have the smoke effect. We can snap this little piece off. I'm gonna take out the base. And you guys can see here the smoke has that little plastic part there that looks like it's part of the gear. So I'm pretty sure this snaps off. Alright, so it took some time, but this little piece snaps off of her maneuvering gear there, the top. And then there's this little piece that snaps off. And then the gas effect, the smoke effect, comes with a piece that's very similar. And you just attach it to the back of the gear. And this is very snug, so you gotta really press on it. And so there he goes. It's very, finally, it's attached. It's very attached. So you guys can get the smoke effect from her, like flying through the air. And of course, we've got the other little like hooks, the little grapples here that go into these pieces here. So you guys can get the effect of her like shooting her little hooks. And so that's the effect you get. Now try to put the base back. And there you go. Something like this. Let's get all of this stuff from the background. And you guys can see, you guys can get some pretty good poses. From her. So you guys, I like this pose here where it looks like she just shot her little hooks, and we got the smoke behind her and she is flying through the air. So very nice posability for this figure. And last but not least, if you guys remember, we've got those hooks with you know, those clear hooks with some string, and I don't think I saw this in the instructions, but these fit right into those holes here for the little grapples, and this is for probably hanging the figure. So we've got these clear hooks that are obviously not part of her equipment or her gear, and they got these little, at the other end, they've got these little plastic attachments. There we go, that go into these little contraptions. So we pull out little grapple very carefully. We can put one of these in, like so, and now we've got the string there ready to be hung somewhere, so you can hang your figure from I don't know, like a little hook, metal hook on the wall or something, or on the ceiling. She can be flying through the air. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna put her on one of my shelves, and you know, I don't want her to gather dust or anything. So that it pretty much does it for this video, I think. I don't think I've missed anything that came with the figure. I think I got everything. Oops, this came loose. There we go. Gonna take off the little string and put back the grapple, the hook. And these slide in very easily. No problem at all. Another nice feature of the figure, and this is something we see in Figma figures, are the interchangeable faces. We've got here her little like stressed out / angry face or determined face here that I think will be more appropriate for her pose. So we're gonna do that by, again, just removing her hair. This should snap right off, as we've done with other Figmas. And again, it's very tricky. There we go. We've got, oops, fell off. We've got the hair that's attached through these two pegs here. We've got her very scary looking face right now, and we snapped, sounds very violent, we snapped the face off, which actually comes off very easily. We've got her normal face there, and there is the mechanical joint that goes into holding on to the face. We've got the clear plastic there, and then we just sliding her new face. Talk about cosmetic surgery. There we go. And now we've got a determined Mikasa flying through the air. Look at let's close up on her face. Come on, camera, focus. There we go. Nice and slow. Focus, I say. There we go. Alright. There is her face, and a nice little close-up, since we're zoomed in, of stupid camera's not focusing. Come on, guy, focus. There we go, that's a little better. Alright, so here we've got a close-up of the figure and all of its components. Again, I am very, very happy with this figure. It's to my in my opinion, again, this is my opinion, don't hate me, this is probably one of the best Figmas out there. I'm really pleased with this figure. You guys can see her maneuvering gear there attached to her body, and her gas effect there, her hood, her gas effect. That sounds weird. The gas coming off of her gear there in the back. And there it is, the Figma Mikasa. And you guys can get a full view of the figure. Again, thanks to the base and all of her awesome gear, you can get some awesome poses out of this figure. And I think this figure now became officially my favorite Figma in my collection. I love my Link, I love my Samus from Metro Prime, but this Figma just looks fantastic. Look at that. And it just gets me even more excited for the Real Action Heroes Mikasa by Medicom. We've got again the trio. We got Mikasa Ackerman coming, Eden Yeager, and Levi coming in the Real Action Heroes series again. And at least two of them. I know that at least two of them will be out this year, so that's gonna be awesome. So look forward to those. I know I definitely am. I've pre-ordered those. Those are a lot more expensive, but I think they are gonna be worth it. You know, Real Action Heroes figures come with actual cloth for their clothing, so I can't wait to see her little jacket in that material, and her little hood, her little cape, and all of that awesome stuff that Mikasa always wears. So that's gonna be an amazing Real Action Real Action Heroes figure. So I think that about does it for this video, guys. Please feel free to post any comments or questions that you might have about this figure. I hope I didn't miss anything in terms of you know, the figure and its components. I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I've got the rest of the Attack on Titan Figma figures coming. I've got the Real Action Heroes figures coming, so look forward to those unboxings. And I think that's it for this video. Like I said before, thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.